Steve, I guess the last week has just epitomised what Stevenage Football Club is about.
Yeah, very much so. We've always said it what we like for in terms of performance on the day, what we lack in terms of ability at times, we make up for in sheer passion and commitment and will to win. And this room is done it for 18 months, and hopefully we continue to do it next week and the week after, and another 18 months would be great.
It's good quality to have, isn't it, when perhaps you're not at your best, but you can still manage to get these wins.
Yeah, listen, the synopsis the other night, we were poor and way off it for 60 minutes. I think from 60 minutes to 90 minutes, we're by far the better team. I think in extra time, we're by far the better team. Um, Goals change games, minutes change games. We felt hard done by, particularly the goal in extra time. But the boys found a way to come back and level the tie, and as we all know, penalties is take it or leave it. But really proud of them. They've been fantastic.
Changes as well. We keep talking about the squads, but yet again, the changes were made and all the substitutes affected the game in a big way.
Yeah, I think again, over a long period, we've been able to affect the game with quality from the bench, and I think that's pivotal. And I can remember saying many times, and I firmly believe it, and it comes from some of the best coaches, is sometimes when you look at an opposition, have a look at the bench, have a look at when they can change it, and how they can change it, and who they can change it with. And I think there's no doubt when you looked at the strength of our bench that we could change it really effectively. I think we got the timing of most of that, not all of it, but most of it right. And there is no doubt when we made the changes, the game completely changed from black to white.
Got to talk about him again. Young Harvey White. He can't be doing too much more to get your interest.
Well, he can do more. He can be more consistent in training, and he can be. But the one thing we had a long chat with Harvey after. I think his expression said he thought he should have been playing at Burton, but then you looked at the performance of Foster Caskey and you think perhaps you shouldn't be because Foster Caskey was outstanding. And I think Harvey came in on the Monday and he came in and see me and he knew as he walked in the door, he says, how good was Caskey, Gaffer? I went, very good. So, but he's doing everything right. And he's quickly, like we said when talking about Foster Caskey, when he first joined us, he was very inconsistent, wasn't up to our speed, wasn't up to how we play, wasn't up to the attention we put in our game. And young Harvey's got a wonderful pedigree in terms of Tottenham Hotspur. It doesn't get any better than that. But he's now learning as to what it takes to come and play in League One. And he's getting there now.
Obviously, you were on the touchline or in the stand on Tuesday night. How does that affect it? Does that make life easier, harder?
You certainly see the game better. That's never changed from any manager, whether you're Premier League manager or myself. I know many of them. They always say when they do take the opportunity, either through the FA saying you're sitting there or whether you're sitting there, you see more of the game. And I think it helped us win the cup tie. If I'm being honest, I think we were so elevated. You see more of what needs addressing quicker, and we're being able to affect it. But it's really interesting. I got there because of a few yellow cards, but I wrote to the FA last week and said, how does Burton Albion get a penalty? And I got a yellow card from one about the penalty, and then they say it shouldn't be a penalty and it's a wrong decision, and I saw the email. What happens to those referees? They get another game. Managers get yellow cards because they get annoyed, and I know there's a level of tolerance and where you shouldn't be, but that's our 8th email apology for goals either not given for us, but more importantly, penalties or big decisions given against us. That's a lot. That's nearly 30% of our games where we're getting big apologies. So, but yeah, you see the game better. Do I need to get that better in terms of my conduct better? Absolutely. There's no one more disappointed me, but I'm always going to fight for my team, and I'm always going to complain when I think there's been an injustice.
It's not just you though, is it? It's the mentality. Clubs are almost looking to get a reaction from the Stevenage bench, whether it be you or somebody else.
Well, I think we've seen it right. I think we've seen Paul Rayner shout on about a couple of challenges on Aaron Presley about getting held and people are over him. The referee goes for a chat within about 10 seconds of Paul saying it. And yet, for an innocuous challenge on the halfway line, there's 4 explored from the Vale bench onto the 4th official and nothing gets said. But we know there's different. We inside this football club know there's different standards how we get treated and how others get treated. You know, so from our point of view, we just need to make sure that we improve that side of the game. But we're never, ever not going to complain when there's injustice, or we've had lots of them this season. We'll have to endure it.
Looking at Saturday, Exeter, it's a side who you've played them earlier in the cup and they were flying high and proved it on the night what a good side they are. But they've really fallen from that perch, haven't they, recently?
Well, they've got a good manager in Guy Caldwell. They've got good players, and I think we found that when we went down there at Caribou. I know we lost in a penalty shootout, and that can go either way. But I think my memory over the 90 minutes, we should have been well beat anyway. So they've got good players. I've watched a full rerun yesterday of the 1-0 loss to Port Vale at home on last Saturday. And believe me, Exeter were by far the better side and missed lots of chances. But Port Vale did what we've done at times. They were going to grab the 3 points. So it'll be a real test for us on Saturday. But we have a real busy period coming now, don't we? We have Exeter at the weekend, and then we have, Christmas is wonderful for Stevenage supporters. When you look at Barnsley away, you look at 2 derbies at home, Northampton and Cambridge, then away to Pompey and that Bell, and then and away to Maidstone in the FA Cup. It's a wonderful period if you're a Stevenage supporter to come and support your team, and we're going to need them. For the boys, it'll be about focus, recovery, in trying to stay in this top half of the table when we come out of Pompey on the 1st of January.
How's the squad looking? It's obviously some bruising games over a short period of time. How's the squad come through?
Yeah, well, the boys will come back in today. A lot of them didn't go home till 5:30 in the morning when we come out of Port Vale because of extra time and penalties, how late it takes, and then the journey on top. And we felt on the way home it was probably justice we win the game, because in the first game there should never be a penalty. Yes, we have the email. Yes, we have the apology, but they got a penalty later on to take us back up to Vale. So, but the squad is good. There's 2 or 3 boys come in this morning thinking they probably need a few hours sleep, but we have to go back to work, and that's what we do. So we're in good shape. Foster Cascale trained today. Dan Sweeney was on the bench tonight. We had a preference not to use Dan. Harry Anderson's training every day now. He's back involved. So the squad's in a good place. I don't think we'll have anyone in the treatment room. Maybe Van Kooten, who looked a little bit laboured late on, but he's come in feeling a lot better today than he did yesterday when he was in, because he came in because he has a knock. So hopefully by tomorrow we'll get everyone available for selection, and we're going to need that in this run of games that's coming.
Does that mean you're going to have knocks on the door asking what players have got to do to get in the side?
Yeah, listen, those knocks never change, and it's different players that bring them in, and the one thing that I think the group knows now, and they did last year, is if you pick the team with real integrity and honesty, it can be about your judgment as a manager, as a head coach, as to where you ultimately pick the team from. But it should never, ever be about preference of one player over another. I've often said to players, I do not care what team I pick. I have no sleepless nights if I don't pick a player, because I pick it with total integrity and total honesty, and trying to represent Phil Wallace, the board, and the Stevenage fans to win the games we play. And I'm not one of these managers that will succumb to an experienced player sitting in front of me and saying how good he is and he should play. Well, demonstrate it on the pitch, rather than talk to me in the office, because some of these young coaches buckle, don't they? Pick their favourites, get the sack, and that's why they've got no longevity in the game. Whereas if you're honest, and I think when everyone outside of football, if you do your job with real integrity and real honesty, then you should always have a job for you.
And the squad you've got, you can't look away from the league table. Is that the kind of squad that will take you through to the rest of the season and still challenging?
Well, we don't look at league tables. The nose is going, because everyone does. So we know what we have to do in January. We know we need to help the group. Is that strengthen it? It's not always about signing better players. We'll find it difficult to go at the marketplace in terms of within the resources and everything else that we want to, and strengthen it. But there is a plan. We have some names that we'd like to bring in and add to the group, and we'll balance the group with ins and outs, and that always happens. But we need to, when you've got such a real good dressing room as we have, and such good characters and men who go to war every game, then we need to make sure that when we think we're helping the group, that we are helping the group by adding real good fierce competition, and not just someone who's going to come in and add a number to the squad, because we've got enough squad numbers. We don't need any more. Phil Wallace is quick to remind me we don't need any more, but he accepts that if we're going to have a successful second half of the season, we need to help the group be better.